Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and with this update on the Wednesday on the beta, we actually have had a buff for Mistweaver monks, particularly to one legendary. You guys know me, I mostly play DPS, but when it comes to playing healers, I like to play healers that have some sort of an offensive potential. Paladin, Druid, Discipline Priests are all up my alley, and even Restoration Shaman can feel like elemental sometimes. But with this video and with this update, it looks like Blizzard is trying to give another leg forward for Mistweavers who want to practice Fistweaving, which is an offensive playstyle for monks that combines melee damage of a Windwalker style playstyle together with the output healing that a Mistweaver can usually provide in groups. So today I just kind of want to showcase what the new update brings. Now, this is still, I don't want to say it's early beta because we've been in beta for quite a while, and the expansion is going to be coming out very soon. Probably safe to say that by the time the beta is over, everything in this video is going to be wrong. Be aware of this. There's still a lot of things that are getting updated pretty regularly. So in this video, we're going to take a look at monks and Fistweaving. I've actually ran a couple dungeons and this feels quite good. What I really wanted for monks for Fistweaving to be a playstyle where you can do damage while also healing allies on the side. Normally for monks, this isn't something that really comes to you naturally. You have a couple different talents, for example, Spirit of the Crane, which really wants you to use blackout kicks to restore mana. Technically, Mistweaver is a melee healer. It's like a paladin without the mastery that kind of forces you to be in melee, but the game does throw at you melee mechanics. So the monk's natural place right now in the game as a healer is actually in the melee. And while you are in a melee, you might as well do some damage because you have access to a variety of melee abilities. So it makes sense to kind of take advantage of this playstyle since that's kind of how the game developers designed it. But it has a lot more of this freedom because it can be a super far range, put some HOTS, get some focus healing on a tank from a distance, and it can do all this fine without really a need to be in melee, unlike a paladin that has a mastery directly tied from being close to their target, being close to their tank with a lot of good tank sustain. You want to be next to the tank to get the most value out of your mastery. However, monks with a legendary that has been buffed are a lot stronger now for Fistweaving. The legendary Ancient Teachings of the Monastery reads, after casting Essence Font, you Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, and Rising Sun Kick heal an injured ally within 20 yards for 150% of the damage done, last 15 seconds. Now, it does say that this legendary only has a 15-second duration, but it's actually really easy to maintain since Essence Font cooldown is fairly short. The weird thing about this legendary right now, though, is as soon as you press Essence Font, the legendary effect kicks in, and maybe that's something the Blizzard will take advantage and correct in the future, but right now you can actually maintain this buff at all times, as long as you have the mana to press Essence Font. The healing it provides is also quite good too. From my testing in dungeons, it seems that it actually can do quite a bit to sustain an ally. The heal itself only heals one person, so it is definitely going to be something you would want to use in small groups, not recommended for raids at all for obvious reasons. If you can only heal one ally, then you kind of can't really heal the 19 other people that might need a heal. So maybe another legendary might work better in Monk's favor. But being able to do melee while also healing your allies type of thing simplifies your rotation a little bit. One, it gives you less necessary need to just maintain heals at all times. More time to do damage on top of it too, so it's damage that can be valuable inside of small groups like Mythic Pluses, where any kinds of damage to slow down or speed up any kind of gameplay is important. There's also quite a few interesting things about Monk with the Touch of Death. It actually has a different effect depending on the spec of Monk. Looking at Touch of Death for your Mistweaver, it increases the monk's physical damage by 15%. So you can see that in certain Mythic Plus dungeons, if you're able to land Touch of Death in a situation where your party is going to need a lot of healing, utilizing this legendary where you do more damage, it would make sense that it would heal for more. So it might have some interesting synergies with this legendary, the playstyle, and Touch of Death altogether. It's a very fun playstyle because it actually takes the whole healer mechanic of just sitting at a distance and maintaining allies, kind of flips it on its head and gives you a more active playstyle. A playstyle where you can actually kind of contribute more than your average healer would. What I also found pretty cool is some of the different synergies you can have for damage output. Being a Venthier, as I am with my monk, I can drop down images and they can do a little bit of damage as well. Monks images are normally supposed to be there to help off heal allies, but the monks that do damage do quite a bit. The brewmaster monks also have a bit of AoE with the brew that they throw out, so this extra damage on its own can be quite nice. The healing also is good because it means I spend less time healing my allies, and the monks kind of do that job decently well. Kind of crazy how synergetic it is. Necrolord as well as the Fae are also decent covenants. The only one that doesn't seem to really fit into this playstyle would be the Kirin with a mastery increase, but maybe somebody will figure out a playstyle around Kirin, maybe with the Soulbinds. Some of the different talents that I ran with this, I ran with Miswrap in the first row just to get that enveloping duration a little bit longer and have a little bit more punchiness to that heal. Tiger's Loss for mobility, Spirit Crane because it synergizes really well with your combat. Ring of Peace is a go-to for all dungeon situations always. I kind of like Diffuse Magic since there's a lot of magic damage happening in a variety of different dungeons. Spirit Crane is kind of like a give and take. I could totally see people going for Refreshing Jade because you can cast it and have a bit of healing while you're in melee, or even Jade Surface Statue to kind of off heal on the side, because Red Crane is a little bit up in the air whether it's really good or not. The reason why I'm not so sure about Crane is because, one, it doesn't really do that much damage. Second, the playstyle of the extra insta-cast Enveloping Mist works, but there is one ability that Crane does use that the Legendary doesn't, and that is Spinning Crane Kick. I'm hoping that maybe Blizzard can add Spinning Crane Kick into the Legendary. This way, Red Crane and this Lego will synergize really well with a bit of AoE, a bit of single target. Red Crane seems like a decent one, but I'm still playing around with this row. In the last row, I went for Rising Mist. It just feels like the go-to. It feels like a really solid option because Rising Sun Kick will heal all allies affected by Renewing Mist, Enveloping Mist, or Essence Font, extends the durations by a little bit, and you are going to be pressing your Essence Font quite a bit because you need to press it to activate your Legendary, and you'll be getting those hots up and running with Renewing Mist, and you'll go for kicks and even more kicks, hoping for those resets and for those procs. So it will kind of just work into your playstyle, work in your favor, just kind of synergizes well with it. And outside of it, you'll just play a very melee, very DPS heavy oriented playstyle, and it ends up working kind of well. The biggest advantage, which is obvious, you do extra damage, and that can be fundamentally what gets you the runs and Mythic Pluses, what lets you time the key and what doesn't let you time. The Legendary has gone a long way since the first inceptions. I think it's a lot more impactful now. The amount of healing that the damage you do provides is actually substantial, but it is limited to one singular target, so that is still going to be a limiting factor for the playstyle with this Lego. I think it's also a playstyle where predictability in the group and the damage output and regular rotation of cooldowns will help the monk put out more damage while still being able to always have the throughput emergency healing if necessary. So in the group that's not going to be standing in the fire regularly, that means that you can put out more damage and continue to sustain heal your allies without having to really micromanage them nearly as much. But most importantly, this is a very fun playstyle in general. I really felt kind of detached from a fight when I'm just having to heal from afar, because as a monk you can just kind of channel at your tank and just kind of leave your character there channeling at the tank the whole time whenever you're in a boss fight. I know you need to hot up, you need to get a setup, and I'm obviously simplifying it very much, but it definitely, this playstyle feels a lot more engaging than the detached range just kind of soothe at your tank the whole time playstyle. I feel like this is a lot more fun, and in a sense I feel like maybe this is somewhere where Blizzard should go forward with monk, design them with damage in mind. We have Discipline Priests, we have Paladins, and one of the things that makes certain healers stronger is being able to put up free damage while also healing. That's not the only reason why certain healers are insanely good and very much often picked for Mythic Pluses when it comes to pushes, but that is one of the reasons, if any. There are a lot of different reasons, but this is a pretty big one. Overall, I think this is a very fun playstyle. It's feeling a lot better than it did at the very beginning when they introduced this Legendary. It feels a lot more consistent, a lot more viable now, and I'm really hoping Blizzard continues with further tuning to hopefully maintain and keep this playstyle, because it's been a lot of fun, and it's been a while since I've actually been so drawn to a healer, and this playstyle looks like a ton of fun, made me want to replicate that on the pre-patch servers right now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think is a potential of Mistweaver Fistweaving playstyle, and I'll see all of you guys in another video.